And it's such a pleasure to be here once again in this incredible space and place, Agents in the Trenches. It's been over a year that we started this adventure, I like to call it, and we never knew that it was going to grow to the level that it's grown. And first and foremost, I never even thought we were going to be, bringing so many powerful experts from our Southwest Florida community together. So, hey guys, Lucy Quinones, international real estate and business coach. As always, it is a pleasure to be here. And today we are taking this to another level, to that higher level that we're always seeking to find and bring value to our community, to our agents, our team leaders, our brokers, our real estate industry practitioners. So we have a super lineup of diverse experts and authorities in different arenas of our marketplace. And as always, it's so much fun to be here with you, Dali. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I know this week went by super fast. I can't believe that come Monday, we're already in the middle of July. Like,
I-
this is unbelievable.
In the blink of an eye, time is just flying by. It's absolutely nuts.
And that is why we've got to accelerate. I'm a person that always talks about accelerating. I always talk about, gladiators of change. I always talk about taking whatever you're doing to that higher level. So I want to welcome our Facebook audience. If you're watching us on live, give us a hashtag live. If you're watching us on replay, give us a hashtag replay. And we also have our community from Instagram watching us today. So if you are in the green room or you are out there in social media land, go ahead and share this live. And we're going to kick it off right now because we're going to be talking about something really, really exciting that we've been working behind the scenes, and it is the introduction of one of our most superstar instructors at the Southwest Florida Real Estate and Business Academy. So tell us a little bit more about our first guest, Talia.
Oh my gosh. Well, she wears many hats. So, she's definitely a powerhouse of knowledge and expertise. And she's always really just opening when it comes to, just sharing what she knows. I mean, she does not hold back from, just giving back. So, without further ado, I want to go ahead and bring her to the stage, Yanely Fernandez. Hi.
Hey, let's hear it for Yanely.
Thank you. Thank you. Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
I am
Yes.
super excited to make this introduction. I'm sure that many of our followers and friends on social media have seen your introductory video. But, tell everyone again, because I know every time we do a live, every time we bring something of value to our marketplace and around, the US, because we've got people from all different parts of the United States and the world watching, I'm sure there's different people that are always connecting. So, take a minute or two and tell us a little bio on you, what you've done, where you're coming from, what inspired you to get into this world of being a Florida licensed instructor, and all your different gifts and talents.
Okay, so we're going to need a little bit more than a minute or two, but I'm going to try to shrink it down because I have done a lot of things. I do have several licenses. I'm a local real estate broker. I'm also a local appraiser. I've been in the business for, I would say, probably about 21 years, a little over 20 years. I've been in different aspects of the business and I've seen everything. Now, as a broker, we are mentors and we do a lot of training. So what actually inspired me to become a Florida instructor was one, my daughter. My daughter got her real estate license when she turned 18, and she came home that first week and she was like, Mommy, I think you would be a great real estate instructor because everything they're talking about in this school, I hear you say in the office, because she also works here in the office. And then that was like my little grain of salt that she threw at me. And I was like, oh, I never thought about it. And that was years ago. And
Wow.
then you obviously had something to do with it as well, because we were at an event and you kind of told me the same thing. And then I was like, okay, this is a sign from God. I think it's time for me to give back because I love educating. I love showing. I love training. And I love seeing the growth and saying I was part of that growth. So that's kind of what drove me to say, okay, now is my next step of, let me help give back with all this, knowledge that we've acquired throughout the years from all our trainings, our suffering, our tears, our cries, our joy, everything together, right? So that's basically why I decided to become an instructor. And I'm very, very happy to be part of your group and very excited about, about what's to come.
So let's go a little bit deeper with that because, a little history for everyone that's watching. The Southwest Florida Real Estate and Business Academy has a huge vision. And, we always want things to happen faster than we expect that they could happen. We always want things to take off a little bit, on the expressway, right? But I'd actually been seeking a bilingual Florida real estate licensed instructor for 2.5 years. I mean, back to 2021, right? We opened the academy in 2020. We all know what happened in 2020. Just when I was ready to open the doors, everybody got shut down. But in 2021, I said, I want to find, instructors in my area. I was looking, and nothing. So for, 2.5 years, I was like, what is going on? Because a lot of people that have been a Florida licensed instructor in our area, they either don't teach anymore, they're looking to kind of slow down, they're looking to, they've been doing it forever, they're part of the more traditional academies. And my vision is for us to be a new generation academy where we're not only helping people get into real estate, but my real vision is after they get licensed, I want to be the space and the place at the academy where we teach them how to make money, where we teach them how to get unstuck, where we teach them how to level up. And after not being able to find anyone that was bilingual, especially, I do have two other instructors, but it was just not taking off the way I wanted. We were at the mastermind, and that's where I eyed you and I said, she needs to be an instructor. She needs to be an instructor and do that. So tell us a little bit about that experience, and because you've gotten many licenses. How did you approach that? What was the good, the bad, the ugly?
I mean, when like I said, it's been the same way. I think at the same time you were praying about it, I think I was praying about it because my path on this started about 2 or 3 years ago. And finally, when I was like, okay, let's do it, you show me a couple of tricks and a couple of things for me, to go there. But I'm glad you hit that bilingual point, because one of the things that I think inspired me on aside from this was that a lot of the agents in my office do not speak English or don't speak English well. And they're always saying, how hard it was in class and how difficult it was to study and, how to get licensed, and even throughout their real estate career. So I thought, God bless me with being able to speak both languages. Why not do it? So I know that we are, preparing to do Spanish classes as well at the academy, and I'm looking forward to that very, very well as well, because I feel like that's a community that needs additional help and support. So I'm all about that, and I really do feel like it's a calling that I have. So I'm very excited about it.
So I'm super grateful that you took the challenge, right? After all the licenses that you have, I'm super grateful that, I got to be honest with you, I'd never done what I'm doing. I mean, I never thought I would even be doing half of the stuff that I'm doing. But, when I had the inspiration of, okay, go out and find those people that would want to become an instructor, I was so excited that out of the people that showed up, you're the one that, let's just say, for lack of a better term, graduated first. So kudos to you. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you. And I do like challenges, and that's something else that I thought, because when we did the class for the instructors to become an instructor, one of the questions you asked was, okay, by what date do you plan on doing this? And everyone started throwing out dates, and I was like, wow, they're thinking like doing it right away. And I was like, I gotta beat them somehow, some way. I gotta beat them. So that's just I work that way. But at the end of the day, not all the relationships. Also, you don't have the same chemistry with people. Everybody doesn't have the same mindset. Some people do it more for personal reasons rather than giving back or helping the future of our industry. So I feel like, especially with this NAR thing going on, I think a lot we're gonna probably lose a lot of agents. So getting new vibes and new agents and new people coming in, I think would be a good thing for us as well.
What do you think, Talia? You wanted to say something?
Yes, well, no, you said that you believe that it's a calling, and I just wanted to shine some light on that because I had the privilege to be able to watch you teach a segment of the previous 63-hour pre-licensing course. And I mentioned this to you in person, but I'm going to say it again publicly. You can tell you were in your flow. Like it just seemed natural to you. And I know you said you were nervous, and I don't know, I couldn't tell. So I just want to say that you did incredible, and you connected with the students as well, which I think is very important, right? I see Lucy teach the 63-hour course, and everyone, of course, I mean, who doesn't love Lucy? But everyone just connects with her. So it's really nice to see another person also connect with their students as well, because we really want to just give a different environment, like not just people coming in here to like get talked at, right? Like and we want them to just feel a different type of atmosphere, and you were able to create that as well. So you did incredible. But I do have a question for you.
Sure.
So in that experience, did you learn anything about yourself, right? Because that was new for you. Was there anything that you took away where you're like, oh wow, like that was something I didn't know I had in me, or just can you shine a little bit light on that?
Yeah, so I was gonna say I was very nervous. I was freaking out because it was something that I didn't think I was quite ready for. I'm an over planner. I like to plan even on vacations. Like everything is a plan for me. Everything has to be like you have to cross every T, dot every I like 15 times. If not, I don't feel comfortable. So when I'm thrown into situations like that, and which most of us are in this business, we kind of have to learn how to pivot and be like, okay, on the spot, let's do this, let's do that. I'll tell you, I did learn that I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. It was very freeing for me. It was very relaxing, and I was nervous. I was freaking out, but it wasn't as scary as I thought it'd be. And I think that we all go through that, especially doing interviews or being on stage or even getting into a career that is new for us. We all freak out about it because we don't we're if there's an unknown out there, we don't know, right? And we have fear. With our worst fear is us. But I'll tell you that for me, it was amazing. And I was like, I think I want to do this. Like, I even want to like quit real estate and quit appraisals. Like, I want to do this full time. Like, that's how much I loved it, which in essence, I love real estate all around, and anything real estate I love. So I think all of my licenses together, they help each other, and they help me be a better instructor, better appraiser, better broker, because they're
Yes.
all in kind of the same world, and they have different aspects to them. But I'll tell you, thank you for telling me that, because one of the students that took that class was a photographer, and I actually hired him to do some of my photography for my listings. And at one of the listings, the seller, I was telling him, oh, did I tell you I'm a real estate instructor? Because I've known him in the past, and he was interested in getting his license. So I was like trying to get him to go to my next class, right? And the photographer overheard, and he's like, by the way, she's amazing. And like he started saying all this. He didn't have to say that. If he didn't
Right.
agree with that, he didn't have to say that. But I was like, that made me feel really good. And I'm like, okay, and that makes me feel better, because you always want feedback to grow and to be a better instructor, to be a better person, to be a better professional. And when you hear things like that there's no reason for him to say that, that kind of motivates and helps you keep going. So that was really happy with that.
I'm just happy that number one, you accepted the invitation to take my master class, which, I'll say it forever. You were part of the very first group of my master class. Unlike you, I believe I'm a visionary. My brain works very different. My brain says, shoot and don't stop shooting. You're bound to hit something. That's how my brain works, right? So I tend to take myself really out of my comfort zone. And you were part of my first master class. And even though I know that, other people said they would, get to the finish line faster, I was really happy when you reached out and you said, Lucy, I did it. That was number one, because I always believe done is better than perfect. A lot of people don't do what they know they should be doing, or don't dare to take leaps of faith because they're waiting to become perfect. Let me tell you, the greatest thing that I feel now, once I did that master class and I said, okay, well, there's a lot of improvements that be done here, but hey, it's done, was the mentorship part, was allowing you to be able to audit my 63 hours, see how I broke down the chapters, listen to how I conducted the class, marinate in the environment of having people from all walks of life, being able to keep them engaged and keep them, connected, making the most boringest class ever interesting and fun. And I said, you know what? The power behind my master class for becoming a Florida licensed instructor is not really even the master class, it's the mentorship after it. So I'm super excited because we are going to be kicking off our next one on the 18th, and you're going to have a full day to shine. And I'm like, is she going to be comfortable me sitting there? I even asked Talia, do you think they're going to be okay with me auditing them now? Because it's one thing when you're auditing me, but let me tell you, my first class, I've done 3 years of instruct. I love it. I'm in love with it. The academy for me is my future, and I see you teaching so many other classes. Like, you're gonna fall in love with it. You're gonna fall in love with it. You're gonna obsess with it. Talia has seen me work my butt off and then teach a full 63-hour class by myself because my instructors weren't able to do it, or it was just whatever circumstances were there. I just had to take the bull by the horn. So I'm really excited that you're gonna be part of this next one. Not as much as I wanted you to be, but for very good reasons. You're definitely going to be an intricate part of the next one.
Yeah, we're already recruiting for the following class in October. So, we take it day by day, and we have to improve each time. So, as we go, and I also heard a lot of feedback from the students in the last class because our passing rate is very, very high compared to other schools.
Yes.
So that's also something good that we have going for us. And I did a video like why choose Southwest Florida and my social media. But one of the things that I think it makes us special as well is that we have Zoom classes that even people that are not in Florida that want to get their Florida license, they can still do it and be in class and still be able to, raise your hand and ask questions. It's not like the online classes that you can't even ask your instructors questions. So I think that's what also kind of brings us out of, why choose us to get your real estate license.
Well, listen, I don't want to take up any more of your time, but I'm super excited. I don't want to make you nervous, but our class on July 18th is our biggest one ever. We've never had the level of registrations that we were able to accomplish this time. And I see it as a sign from God that we are on the right path, that we are ready to, be that new generation of real estate instructors. And the main thing that everyone needs to know, not only are we the most interactive, the most engaging, we dissect the whole 19 chapters to help you pass. And now with instructors that have that calling and the gift like Yanely has, we're just going to be able to do so much more and create a bigger impact. And our main goal is not even to just have you or anyone get their real estate license. It's teaching you how to level up, make money, and succeed in real estate once you become an instructor. So, there's so many things in the future. So thank you so much, Yanely. I am super excited. Can't wait to see you next week.
Thank you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure. See you next week.
We are going to play a little video, and we are going to showcase, a gentleman that really has been walking this journey with me for a very long time, 3 years. He's been an instructor for 3 years, but he is just now going to make his debut at our next 63-hour course in a much bigger way than ever. And I'm excited because I really see everything evolving to that level. So let's watch who this person is and learn a little bit from him.
Awesome.
And grow. I've been licensed for over a decade and I still learn new things. Hi, I'm Zach, and I absolutely love the real estate business and being a real estate instructor. To me, real estate's more than just buying and selling properties. It's about helping people find their dream homes, securing their investments, and building their future. Every day is a new adventure filled with unique challenges and opportunities to learn and grow. I've been licensed for over a decade, and I still learn new things and come across unique situations all the time. As an instructor, I get to share my passion and knowledge with others. I guide them to success in their own real estate journey. Seeing my students grasp the different concepts and thrive in their careers is incredibly rewarding. Real estate's a dynamic and ever-evolving industry, and I love being at the forefront of the industry, empowering the next generation of real estate professionals. It's truly fulfilling to make a positive impact on people's lives and careers. Now, I hope you can join us in an upcoming class. Click the link below for more information, and we'll see you in the next class and at the closing table.
That is Zach, our instructor, and it's so funny because I really, people don't understand what happens behind the scenes of, oh, Lucy, you have an academy, and they see the glory, like I always say, but they don't know the story. And because we're continuing to hunt, me, a visionary, always on to the next best thing. Since we're continuing to hunt for Florida real estate licensed instructors that want to join my masterclass and receive my mentorship on how to do this in a new generation way, and also open up other income streams through utilizing the ability to teach at the academy, we want to showcase another guest that has something very incredible to teach. And so let's just say that this is my official invitation for him to be part of my masterclass and come join us as an instructor at the academy, because we're just getting started. The fun has just begun. So bring on the next guest, Talia.
Yes, let's go ahead and bring Dan Boyd to the stage.
Hello,
Hi.
Talia. Hello, Lucy. It's so good to be with both of you.
It's
Nice to
so
meet
good
you.
to see you.
And I would love to accept the invitation to join you for the masterclass. I'm a teacher at heart, and I know that those are my gifts, and I want to use those to serve God and to serve His people. And I get just as much out of teaching somebody how to fish as I do catching a fish myself. And that's really, I've learned at this point in my life that I really like to stay there and be in that zone. And so it's really just a joy. So that's one of the reasons I'm excited to be on here with you today, because I love what I get to talk about.
Yes. Yeah, I just got goosebumps. We've talked before, we've met at the Southwest Florida Real Estate Mastermind, but I never officially invited you. But knowing what you know now, understanding more of what you do, I want to partner up with you because we are here to make an impact in our community. So share with everyone a little bit about you. Who's Dan? What do you know? You've got some secret, ammunition to really make a difference in the marketplace. So share with us for a little bit all about you.
Absolutely. And I'll give you a little surprise, or I should say, tengo una sorpresa, es que yo puedo presentar en español también. Pues si tenemos un curso de bienes raíces solamente en español, yo puedo servir como instructor en esa clase también. But back to English a little bit about me. So who is Dan Boyd? I grew up in Central Florida. I'm so happy to call this place home. I was born in Minnesota, but moved here when I was very young. Something kind of funny, when people find out I speak Spanish, they often say, "Where are you from?" And I say Minnesota, but they think he couldn't possibly have said Minnesota. He must have said Venezuela or something like that. And they say, no, I really am from Minnesota. So moved down here when I was 5 and have loved it ever since. So I got involved in real estate when I was probably 19 years old, and my best friend's dad encouraged me to get a real estate license. And so my best friend and I both took our class and passed our test at the same time. And I jumped in and realized very quickly, it's hard to gain traction as a 19-year-old realtor. People don't trust you right away. So I learned the hard way of how much you have to work and earn people's trust. And that taught me a lot of good lessons throughout life. So I work right now with a group called CSSI, which is a national specialty tax consulting firm. And we step in and fill a lot of unique roles that most tax professionals don't do. So you can kind of think of it like medicine. In medicine, you have your family practitioner, your family doctor. They're going to handle most of the things that you come with. So if you need a prescription for antibiotics, that kind of thing, you go to those people. But when you have a specialty need, you go to a specialist. And so we very gladly fill that specialty tax niche and offer real estate owners some specialty services to make sure that they're getting the tax support and the tax relief they need. And I love doing that. because so often, we have this idea that, oh, the people who are paying less in taxes, they're the 1%, the people all the way at the very top. And there are those people who, yeah, absolutely, they're making a lot of money and they're finding ways to pay less in taxes. I love working with, I would say, the people in that really big middle category who you wouldn't think of them as the 1%, but they need the tax help just as much as anybody else, because they're running businesses, or they're building a family legacy. And so I really love helping those people because it brings a life-changing relief that they need. And so that's really important to me.
Well, guys, listen, you just saw the magic happen right before all of our eyes. I mean, this is a gringo Latino, right? um, and yes, when you told me that you could speak Spanish, I was like, no way. But you're so gifted and you're so talented in so many ways. I have a vision, and the people that know me, my former and even present business affiliates, associates, business partners, they say, oh my God, when Lucy says she has a vision, run if you don't want to be part of something that's going to be big and it's going to happen, because she's going to make it happen. As I was listening to everything you were sharing, I was having a vision of the academy, being able to give tax strategy classes to the agents, to the realtors in our community. And I'm not just talking about, once every 3 months. I mean, right now our curriculum is once every 3 months because I was the only one that was able to do a class. But listening to you speak, I'm like, I saw it. I'm like, wow, the academy is going to be full on a daily basis with the Yanelys of the world teaching agents, incredible things they need to learn. The Dans of the world being able to do it both in English and in Spanish, tax strategies. And I know we're just getting started. So that is the vision that I had. So I'm so happy that you've accepted the invitation. Let's dive a little bit deeper. Dali, do you have any questions? Because I know you asked some really powerful questions.
Oh, I mean, first of all, I'm just blown away. Like, your Spanish is so good.
Thank you.
So I
Did you
think
get inspired, Tanya? Did you get inspired?
I did. I'm not gonna lie, I did. Dan, how did you learn Spanish? That's probably my first question.
So I have a bachelor's degree in Spanish, and I just loved studying languages when I was young. And that was one of the things, you get to school and you're not really sure what to do. So you just start taking classes, and started taking language classes and realized how much I enjoy it. And so took it all the way. And I probably had a little bit more of that happy-go-lucky approach, and thought, like, I'll find something to do. Can I immediately get a job with this? Maybe not, but I'll find something to do. And that's worked out pretty well for me since I graduated.
That's
Wow.
great. That's great. So my first question, I guess it would be, why should realtors know what you do? Like, why should they have that piece of knowledge in their tool belt?
Absolutely. Great question. Am I able to share my screen, Talia?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's do that.
You could even do a class on StreamYard because you are a pro. Like, you taught us while you put your screen on, guys, everyone that's watching, ask some questions. But literally the last time, or the first time that, I think it was the first time, or the first time you joined us, you were like, can I share a screen? And we're like, and you were like, yeah, just give me a second. So
Cool.
You did the magic. So go ahead, do your
Nice.
magic.
So I may need you to pop that up there. I'm not sure. I have it down with me. Perfect. There we go. So I'd ask realtors to think of this question. Think of this from the perspective of an investor, right? How much would you save in taxes if you could immediately write off 20%, 25% of the building value? So let's say somebody's looking at a vacation home, something that they're going to use as a rental, and it's in the $500,000 range, right? So ordinarily, you can't just write off a building as a business expense the same way you would like a cup of coffee or some paper for your printer, that kind of thing. You have to take a little bit at a time. It's called depreciation. You spread depreciation out over 27 and a half years or 39. So that's not a lot of money every year. And people often need more help than that. So what we do with cost segregation is we allow you to write off a much larger percentage of your building value right away. And that means of that $500,000 building, or maybe it's $1 million building, in the early years of ownership, we can help that owner write off $125,000 or $250,000. And so they're not going to owe taxes for the first several years of ownership, which means we increase cash flow. At the end of the day, what realtors should understand about cost segregation is it increases cash flow by decreasing taxes. And that means you can close more deals. Because when people are evaluating an investment, it's going to come down to cash flow. Does this make sense? Can I make money on this? And part of that equation is, what do you owe every year? So you're going to have, if you take out a loan, you're going to have your principal, your interest, your taxes, and your improvements, right? So now property taxes is another thing, but income taxes, right? If we can zero out income taxes, now all of a sudden, in the early years of ownership, a building makes sense and you can profit with it right off the bat. And so for those deals that are just kind of on the cusp, they're right in the middle, right? Like they almost make sense, they almost don't. Cost segregation pushes them into the black. They push them from the red to the black. So that's what this is all about. And the slide I have up here right now, what is cost segregation? If you think about the depreciation, way it works, buildings depreciate slowly. And what that means is, from a tax purpose, you get a little bit of the benefit every year, but for a long, long time. And what we do is we take a little bit of that benefit every year and push it right up to the front, because some things wear out faster. So here's a little bit of how that works. Let's imagine you have a building and you want to use cost segregation, which is an approved method of identifying the value of components in your property that have a shorter useful life. Things like your wall covering, or some of your furniture, or anything that counts as personal property. So this would actually be a really big category, like kitchen cabinets and countertops, or outside the property, a swimming pool, landscaping, a fence, a lot of those things. And so on this is a real home that I did a cost segregation on. The building value was $435,000. And if you look at this 5-year category with $55,000 in value, and the 15-year category with $102,000 in value, we were able to help this client get that much of a write-off in the early years of ownership, which meant that if you combine those two numbers, 55 and 102, that's 157,000. Until they made 157,000 in income, they didn't owe any taxes on this property, which was a long time. And so at the end of the day, this is all about decreasing what people owe in taxes so we can increase cash flow.
I love it. You know, as you're speaking, I'm saying, my goodness, there's so much knowledge is no longer power in this day and age. Knowledge is everything. And imagine real estate agents who are now facing such huge shifts and changes and ups and downs and curveballs and wrenches being thrown into our industry. Having this level of conversation, or at least being able to transmit a message with this type of knowledge, how impactful it would be for their business, A, and B, what it would do for their confidence. So Dan, this is powerful stuff. I mean, we've got to unpack this. So let's start planning when you're going to come to the academy and teach this as soon as you become a Florida licensed instructor. And I would love to be your mentor in what we do and how we do it. But this is super exciting. What do you think, Dalia?
I'm blown away. I mean, I know I've heard you speak about this last time, but like every single time I'm like getting something new, right? So I think this is not just, you learn it once and then just whatever. I think you got to continue to learn, right? Continue to learn a little bit more about it, and, get yourself really like, I don't know, equipped on how to articulate that. Because even though I heard it a couple of times, I don't know if I'm 100% confident in being able to articulate it. But, I think that within time, and I keep hearing you say it, and maybe I can take a real life example and stuff like that. I think that's where it's really going to be extremely powerful. And just having it in the back of your head and in your tool belt to be able to articulate is really incredible. So
absolutely. I say this is one more arrow in the quiver. And when we are representing people and we really want to make sure they have a great experience of working with us, right? Like cash flow is king. The other thing that's king is customer experience or client experience. And we want every bit of our client experience to be positive and for people to know we care about them beyond the financial relationship. And we really want a supportive, friend relationship with them to see them be successful. And the more we know about their business, the better we can support them. And so I'd say for anybody who maybe is a little intimidated, like, oh, taxes, I don't know if I can handle that. Just take the first step, right? If you're not sure about it and you have a client who is investing in a property, you can say, you know, I've heard about something called cost segregation, and I don't fully understand it, other than it will increase your cash flow and decrease what you owe in taxes. So let's explore that a little bit to see, is this a good strategy for you? And it doesn't fit for everybody, but for the people it fits for, it is an amazing strategy and they love it.
Wow. Muchísimas gracias, Dan. Me
Un
encanta
placer.
que hayas estado acá con nosotros. Thank you so much.
Un placer.
Gracias. Well, Tali, we've got our last but not least guest. And, you know, as Dan is closing out, and I hope Yanely and Dan can stay with us till the end so we can say farewell together to our audience that's been joining us and people that have been connecting. Our next guest is a marketing queen. We didn't even know it.
She sure is. I'm excited to talk a little bit more with her and see what she does, how she does it. I know we have a little quick commercial before we bring her on.
Yes.
And I know we're on the same, I mean, Dan just talked about investments, and this is an incredible investment. And Lucy, you want to talk a little bit more about that before we bring on the commercial?
So, you know, one of the things that yesterday I was talking to my financial planner, and he asked me, he said, okay, so where are you guys now, and what's really important? And as I was driving down I-75 and I was listening to everything he was saying about, you know, what we have and what we've done and where we've put it and how it's working and da 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 da, because I don't like numbers. I'm not like Yanely. I don't like numbers. When I have to do accounting or bookkeeping, because I must, because I know I have to know what's going on, I start going into convulsion mentally, my brain, but I've learned to like them because that is our future. I said to him, I want to get to the point where I'm not working for money. I've got to position myself to have my money working for me. And with that being said, I want you guys to take a look at one of the projects that I've been dreaming about as an affordable home, product, so that we can continue to make the American dream a reality, but also so that those of us that want to make cash flow king, and like Dan said, you know, customer service king for our investors, we can present them with one of the lowest price 3-bedroom, 2-bath investment properties, or first-time home buyer properties, or rent-to-own property in our area. And I'm super proud of it because it is not just, you know, helping people become homeowners, it's bringing people a hugely powerful investment opportunity. So I want to introduce to everyone the Max model, which we're very proud of. And that is the Max model. It is under 300,000, and we are going to be improving it. It's going to be having some changes, and it's officially going to be in the next 2 months, being the very first home, close to 1,400 square feet, 3 bedrooms, a den, in the 300,000. So the Max model is the Max. So speaking of the Max, let's talk about Max marketing. And who are we going to be talking to next?
So we are going to be talking to somebody. I met her, I want to say a couple years back, and she just had this amazing energy, and I think we connected right on the spot. And ever since then, I've had the pleasure to be able to keep in contact with her, do business together as well, which is incredible. And she does something that I don't know how she does it.
Yes,
It's something you definitely need, like, I don't know, you need to
a
be
gift.
built
You
different.
need a
Yes,
gift. You need
a
a gift for
gift
that.
for sure.
So
So let's go ahead and bring her to the stage, the one and only
the
Sadie.
queen,
So,
the queen of marketing, the queen of so many things that you're doing. Sadie, welcome to Agents in the Trenches. We want to go deep diving with you. Let
Thank
everyone
you,
know
guys.
more about you.
Thank you, Talia and Lucy, for having me on Agent in the Trenches podcast. I really appreciate the opportunity. Wow, look at that Max model. I want one. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's really beautiful. I love the layout, the colors, everything. It just makes you want to just buy 5 of them right now.
There you go.
let's do it.
Beautiful.
So, Sadie, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? How do you do it? And who do you help?
So I'm in biohazard remediation. We also do a lot of things like helping people with mental health issues. We speak to a lot of people that are suffering from depression, or disabled and elderly, and just have let their home go, and they have so much pride that they don't know how to ask for help. And so people are so worried about, someone judging them. And what we do is we step in and we say, listen, here's the plan of what we're going to do. We want to give someone a total reset, let them gain control of their home all over again. We don't judge them. We come in, we talk to them, we offer them counseling, and we give them that total reset that they need, because other than that, they're risking being homeless or being very ill or even dying from the bacteria that's in their home. So we are full concierge biohazard specialists. So we don't just go in there and we don't just clean up a situation. We take a holistic approach. We go in, we do anything that's needed, from the property managers, the homeowners, the family members calling from out of state, or the people that are in need in that tragic situation, whether it's from a murder cleanup, homicide, suicide, someone who's disabled, someone who's very sick and in the hospital and needs their environment cleaned before they come home. We do everything. We want to meet them where they're at, where their needs are, and we want to make sure that we take care of them, because our clients become our family. And so that's what we do at Sadie's Pro Cleaning, and we have locations in Connecticut and Southwest Florida, and we do travel anywhere in the United States. So if you're in need and you're in Wisconsin or Texas or New York or any other state, we'll be happy to come and help you out.
Wow. I listen to you. I listen to you speak, and it's things that are happening right around us, right in our neighborhoods, maybe even next door, that people are suffering from mental health, or people have parents that are, unable to care for themselves and they live out of town. And we don't even know, because of course everybody gets dressed up, everybody smiles, and everything you just talked about, from someone, and you shared some of these stories with me, someone, committing suicide or a homicide, and you have to show up, and your job is to restore that property, right? That location, to be able to be used again. What called you to get into this? Because this is definitely a calling. This is like forensic science stuff.
I've always loved helping people. I didn't have the greatest life growing up, and I wasn't treated very well by my own parents that were narcissists. So I became like a people pleaser, and this is just what makes me tick. I love helping people so much. And as I got older, I learned, how to have boundaries in my own life, but still be able to help people, because that's just something that just was ingrained in me. I always wanted to please my mother and father, and I couldn't do that. So I want to please other people. It makes me feel so good when, people walk in the room and they see that, they didn't lose their home, because people just can't imagine, how are we going to start this? How are we going to come in here and clean this? There's no way. Let's just throw the whole house away. But we come in and we restore, we mitigate, we remediate, and then we restore their faith and their hope that things are going to be okay. You just because you let your house go and you're battling with depression doesn't mean that you can't get your life back on track. We're here to help you, and we're here to motivate people and make them feel good about themselves, because a lot of people have such shame, and they've been battling with depression their whole lives, and they just need somebody to talk to and not judge them. And that's what they've been so upset about was, I don't want anyone in my home to judge me. And, we're here to make them feel good about themselves, boost them up, and say, hey, you can do this. You don't have to live like this anymore. And we're your biggest supporters, and we're here to help you. And people love it. They love it. They love knowing that we came in there, we didn't judge them, that the task was not too big. They thought, oh my God, this house will never get back to normal. But then when we go in there and we help them, it's like night and day. So people go from, being very shameful and secretive about their lives that they live, to being open and wanting to, invite their friends over to their house, because their house is clean and it's a safe environment for them. So we're not just helping people, get an environment cleaned up. We're helping their self-esteem. We're motivating them, and we're putting them on a positive path, for healing.
That's so powerful. And, I want to respect everyone's time, but where can people find you? Where can people reach out to you? Because I know that there's a lot of real estate agents that go into homes that maybe are not in any condition to be listed. I mean, we see it on Netflix all the time, these shows or these documentaries about hoarders, which is really a mental illness.
Yes.
Or, I remember I had a rental property where many years ago, the son actually killed his 93-year-old father.
Okay.
And it's like, oh my God, where do we even start to take care of this? Because obviously it's a murder scene. So tell us where people can reach you, and then we're going to bring back our guests and close us out. But I think we need to do a more in-depth segment with what you just shared, because there's so many people dealing with, emotional, mental, issues. And I know we're all under a lot of stress. And
Yes.
you also have a very powerful story that I think is worth sharing, because you just said it. You grew up with parents that, didn't know any better, but there's something behind how you turned it all around for good. And I would love to give you a space and a place to share your story with, everyone that's out there, because we all have a story, and a lot of us don't share our story because we really don't, we don't want to go through those emotional roller coasters. But I think that you bring so much to the table that could really make an impact.
Yeah, you got to relate to your clients. You have to be relatable. You have to share a little bit about yourself so that they trust you, because it's a big step. And you talk about it really is happening on every corner, maybe every third house on the block. People are struggling with.
I think we lost her connection. She'll be back. All right, let's bring in our guests, because I'm sure, they're writing in the chat. I'm sure that they have insights on, what we just heard. Okay, Sadie's back. So Sadie, you were saying about, we're bringing everyone back because you've really touched those of us that are here with what you just shared in such a short amount of time. I don't know if Sadie can hear us.
Can you hear us, Sadie? Oh no. I think we're having some technical difficulty.
Yes. I don't know if she can hear us. Yanely, what did you think about this, Dan? That was like powerful. I was like, wow. I think Yanely's mic is off. Here we go. Let's see, Yanely, you have to unmute yourself.
That would help. That would definitely help. So So I was listening to her and I was saying like, oh, I want to give back and I want to, share my knowledge. And I was like, well, she's doing it for a lot better reasons. So it's very inspiring and motivational, and know that people can take, a bad situation and turn it into something positive. And
Yes.
if we had more of Sadie in the world, I think this world would be different, because we let our mental health or our loved ones or our situation, our circumstances, our finances guide us into negativity. And it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, I'm sure all of you have encountered someone at the grocery store that looks at you and looks like they want to murder you just because you bumped into them by mistake or anything. And it's like, why do people live their life so sad and so miserable? So hope, I think she's a great addition to the team, and I hopefully we can do a segment on just her and her story and things that she's doing to give back, and hopefully that will motivate others that are maybe in similar situations to say, what, it doesn't have to always be this bad. I can shine and do something positive out of this.
Talia, you want to check on Sadie while I talk to Dan? Dan, what was your perspective? I mean, here is a businesswoman who is running her company, not just in Southwest Florida, but in Connecticut, facing some of the most horrific stuff that we can think of when she walks into these locations. Let us know, Talia, when Sadie's ready to come back, or bring her back in. What were your thoughts? Because what hit home to me was when she talked about mental health. It has so much taboo. But then again, mental health could be someone, like she just said, with depression, someone that is dealing with anxiety, someone that is living with insomnia. You can't sleep because the bills are mounting. Give us your thought.
So first of all, Sadie, I just want to say I'm so grateful that you are in business. And the reason why you're in business is awesome. I mean, some people could just say, yeah, I want to make a bunch of money. But I think what you're bringing is so much more valuable, and your customers probably realize that. And while you might get ahead very quickly by just focusing on efficiency and profit, in the long run, you win by forging deep relationships. And it's clear that that's what you're about. And thank you for sharing a little bit about your own story and recognizing that you weren't loved the way you deserved as a young person. And so you're able to pay that forward. And the only way we can break that cycle is if we're willing to pay it forward and say, it stops with me. I didn't get what I deserved, but I'm going to stop, and I'm going to give the people around me, my children, my friends, my family, my spouse, what they deserve. And that's going to bring something much more important. I mean, having a clean house where people can live is important, but healing and peace are even more important than that. And so I loved listening to you, and very glad that you are in this business. I think your approach speaks for itself, and it needs no additional explanation.
Wow. We can't hear you, Sadie. I think your mic is off.
No.
She can't hear us either. Oh my goodness. Anyway, guys, we're definitely going to have to do another segment with Sadie, and I would love if you guys are available to chime in, because we serve people. We work with agents. We don't know what people are going home to. And there's so much taboo behind opening up ourselves and sharing. I wrote it in the comments, you just said it best, Dan. She's doing it for a purpose over profits. And I think that's really when our life takes off. So Yanely, I want to thank you so much for being here today, for taking the leap of faith to join us as an instructor at the Southwest Florida Real Estate and Business, because we're going to teach people how to make money, not just get their license, Academy. So any closing words?
I just want to tell Dan that since he's now going to be my colleague, give me a call, and I'm going to kind of give you some pointers. I actually, once I took the test, I kind of did my own study guide and things like that to help you through your course. So once you talk to Lucy and you guys square that away, give me a call and I'll help you with that as well. And I'll share my notes and my experience. That way it can help you succeed. And thank you for having me as well.
Thank you, Yanely.
You're welcome.
Dan, as always, it was a pleasure having you. Any closing words?
Again, grateful to you, Lucy, for taking the time to invest in building this kind of community and this opportunity for people to grow and develop. And I think you're proof that when you are persistent with something and you say, okay, what would be good for other people? that something beautiful happens. And so I'm glad to be a part of your vision.
Oh, thank you, Dan. And Sadie, can you hear us? Can you
Yes,
give us
and
your
I'm deeply
closing
sorry
word?
for the technical
Yes.
difficulties. But I want to
We're
say
so
thank you for having me. And, you know, this is what it's all about, is leaving a positive mark in the world. You know, you want to leave a legacy, not just for your family and your kids, but you want to be able to say that when you leave this earth, that you did positive things to help people. And I'm just glad to collaborate with you, Lucy and Talia, with the agents in the trenches and everyone here, Yanely and Dan. I just appreciate being a part of this opportunity with you guys. I've learned a lot from you guys. Thank you for having me. And I look forward to any other, you know, get-togethers that we are, you know, going to do together.
Well, we
Thank
all
you.
agreed. We all agreed that you're coming back and sharing more of your story because
Thank
I just
you.
feel it in my heart that this is the time and place with everything we're living for us to learn from each other at a deeper level. So thank you, Sadie.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Yanely. Thank you, Dan. And Talia, close us out. Till next time.
Yes, we definitely have to do a round two for sure. But thank you all for watching. And until next time, be safe, have a great weekend, and we're here if you need us. Take care, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.